All right. Good morning, everybody. It is September 29th, 11:23 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's bright as light's pretty bright. There we go. It's a little better. Vlog entry. So September was such a weird month. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. But I will say some things happened that went right. Was that I quit smoking marijuana for good. I found Jesus Christ. And most recently, I did a painting of Charlie Kirk, so that's an accomplishment. The painting I took to my dad's advice. He told me, why not take it to the Republican Party, and I did. So I took it to the Republican Party here in Tulsa, and the people there loved it. It looks better in person. I noticed that some of the pictures I took weren't really like dead center on with good lighting, and it appears to be a little angled, so it makes the picture look a little weird. Not too extreme, but it looks better in person. It looks 100% better in person. That's all we'll say about that. And I did take a picture with my phone, but I have so many phone issues right now that I can't do anything really except for text and make calls. I can visit YouTube, but I can't there's things I need to do and I need to verify. And because of the complication of Assist Wireless, they accidentally changed my number. It's been a week long of trying to change it back. I finally visited the store this morning, and they said that they got a message saying by the end of today, I will have my old number back. And once I have my old number back, I can start moving forward with all the things I need to get done, which has been, I just feel like I've just been held back this whole month. It's crazy. One of the things I need to do, for example, to verify my ID on Amazon, because I'm publishing a book, is I need my old number to be able to send a verification code to my phone. I don't know how I would go to Google to fix that. I've tried before and I couldn't do it, so I don't know. So hopefully by the end of today, I'll have my own number back and I can start verifying my ID on Amazon and get apps that I need. My parents went back to Argentina to visit family, and there's no way for me to communicate with them without WhatsApp. And I can't download WhatsApp and verify my ID, so it's been crazy, very crazy. But I visited this I don't know if to call it a church. I guess a church. It's called House of Faith, and I was invited by a person that I met at the Republican Party. For privacy's sake, I won't say her name. But what was interesting about meeting this person is that I actually know her brother from doing film stuff, independent film stuff. And I have a lot of respect for him. And what's really funny is she asked me, I was like, do you know Norris? And I was like, oh, yeah, I know Norris. I got a lot of respect for him. That was the first thing I said. And she goes, I'm his sister. And I go, oh, good thing I said nice things. But I really do have respect for him. I have a lot of respect for a lot of filmmakers in town, especially if you're independent and doing your own thing and nobody's helping you out. There's, you don't have, you don't bend, you don't change your politics to be able to work in the industry. There's people like us, like me, who stick to our morals and values, and we're not going to change for anything. If it means I don't get to work in the industry, then it means I don't get to work in the industry. Who cares? I don't care. There are more important things in life. And so I met this lady there, and turns out she's the sister of the brother that I know. And she loved the painting. She loved it so much that apparently, I didn't know this. Well, there's the fair going on right now here in Tulsa, the state fair, and they have a booth, a Republican Party booth there, and they took the painting there because apparently I was the only one that did anything for Charlie Kirk. Nobody did any kind of tribute, nothing. So they were like really happy. They were very surprised and happy. And it's almost like I fulfilled a wish or a prayer that they were having because, like I said, nobody was doing anything. So they have the painting there on display at the fair, at the booth. And then they invited me to go Wednesday. So they gave me a ticket, which reminds me how to go online and verify my ID, but I can't do that until I have my number. So anyways, so I got a ticket to go to the fair. It's a vendor gate ticket, Wednesday, October 3rd, 4 to 9 p.m. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be out there just, I guess they need help, but also I'll be able to like promote my paintings and the fact that I paint and I can do any kind of painting, you know? So that's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to that. But she invited me to go to this church because I told her, I was like, you know, I haven't been to church in like, I don't know, like over a decade, more than that. And she was like, why don't you come out to House of Faith? And I was like, okay, sure. Funny thing, there's another lady there, and she invited me to the Methodist church, and I said, okay, I'll go there too. So, but I went to the House of Faith first, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was great, all around great. I mean, from the music, you come in, they have like a band playing, and they're all singing together, like beautiful things. I mean, you know, all about Christ and the Lord and the Savior and this and that, and that's how it starts. And then there's a guy, the preacher comes out, and it was funny because I'm not used to it. I grew up traditionally going to Catholic church. He came out with a suit, and immediately I was like, huh, this is interesting. But I went with it. You know, I wasn't going to judge anybody there. You know, and he came out and talked, and the thing he was talking about was on forgiveness, because recently Erica Kirk at the stadium where they did the whole memorial thing for Charlie, she opened up and found the strength to say that I forgive Tyler, you know, and so she forgives that young man, and it inspired a lot of people. I mean, even Tim Allen. I just heard recently Tim Allen, his father was murdered. I didn't know that. I had no idea his father was murdered, and he carried that anger, that I don't know what the weight of that, and for the longest time. And after seeing Erica open up and forgive the assassin, which is, you know, you hear it all the time, and not all the time, but you hear it sometimes. Families do that, but it was very shocking to the whole system, to the masses. I mean, everybody was like shocked and awe and surprised and bewildered by it. And I was too. You know, I call her Erica the Great because I don't know. She's kind of just like Charlie. You know, like I guess a little bit of Charlie's magic rubbed off on Erica, and it seems like she's holding the torch now and leading the charge there, which is incredible. You know, so I call her Erica the Great, especially after what she went through. Just horrible. But you know, Tim Allen said he opened up and said, you know, I forgive the murderer who killed my father. And he said, I finally forgive him. And you can see in the picture that he was in, he could see a shift in his face and his smile, just in his eyes. You can always see a shift in people when they let things go. Hey, what up, Krishna? Sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I just saw you. Somebody replied to you. You're happy. What's going on? It sounds like you're happy, man. I'm glad for you. I'm very happy for you that you're happy. Krishna, all the way from India. Everybody say hi to Krishna. Seems like a good kid. There you go. He's sending hearts. But yeah, it was fantastic. I went to the House of Faith, and what's cool is when it's your first time, they give you like the parking up. It's reserved for first timers. You go and you have like front row parking. People there greeting you all the way from the corner of the street all the way to the front door. People greeting you. You go inside, people greeting you. It's great. And then they gave me this little packet, this little baggie that's got stuff. And the preacher guy, Caleb Worley, I'll just say, it says it comes with this book called Empowered: Understanding the Holy Spirit in This Generation. So I'm going to have to give it a read. Here's what the book says. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but I'll give it a shot. Caleb Worley has over 20 years of experience in executive leadership roles through missions, church planting, and leadership initiatives in over 65 countries. And he said he just came back, I think, from Bulgaria. I think is what he said. He came back. He's known as a kingdom leader, mobilizer, and relationally gifted visionary. He serves as the executive director of the Empower 21 Leadership Network and is the co-founder of Inspire International. He is focused on helping leaders around the globe and fulfilling their unique assignment in life. Caleb has been married to his beautiful wife, Sarah, for almost 20 years, and they are the parents of 3 amazing children, Isaac, Lizzie, and Emma. This is what the book says. Empowered is all about understanding and experiencing the Holy Spirit. Writing from a personal experiences and a strong biblical foundation, Caleb explores the value and purpose of what it looks like to partner with the Holy Spirit in our everyday life. As the church expands globally, the need to understand and operate in the fullness of the Spirit's power is essential. Only then can we demonstrate Jesus to our broken and hurting world. This book explores concepts like his identity, the Holy Spirit as a person, being led by the Spirit. The Holy Spirit wants to lead us in everything. Receiving the Spirit, the Holy Spirit wants to give you God's power. Partnering with the Spirit, he wants to express his gifts through you. So there you go. Pretty cool. I'm getting like all these gifts and signs and things from all these things that I'm really excited to read. This book doesn't seem very long. I bet I could read it in a few days. It's called Empowered, by the preacher there who started this church. House of Faith. I really enjoyed it. I felt a strong presence of like the Holy Spirit there. I really enjoyed it. So anyways, his whole, I guess, sermon, we call it a sermon. His whole thing was on the weight that we carry when somebody offends us and we carry a grudge or something. And he used a sack of potatoes, which was hilarious, to demonstrate what it's like, and so he was like, if you have these things in your life that like you are angry at somebody, or you want like some kind of revenge or something, he said, like, look at these potatoes as those individual things going on with you, like the whatever anger you have, and he's like, and put them all in the sack and carry it with you all day long. And that's a metaphor for what it feels like when you have a lot of when you've been wronged and you go down that direction of anger and revenge and this and that. Eye for an eye leaves the world blind. But we carry that weight, and so forgiveness is truly the power to release all that weight. You release the person who offended you, did you wrong, you release them. They could still carry, if there's somebody's got an issue with you, that's no longer your business. That's for them to figure out. But if you forgive them, you forgive yourself, for all your faults and for just being a man. We're imperfect, we're not perfect. So if you can find a way to forgive yourself, forgive others, you'll feel lighter. You'll feel much lighter, and just you'll have more joy in your life. And so, and I had, in a lot of ways, he was preaching to the choir, because I'm all about forgiveness, because I know the weight of carrying anger, resentment, even like the idea of getting back at somebody, and then of course it never works out the way you think. You want to get back at somebody, and all you're doing is spreading more hurt out in the world. And so the strongest thing and the best thing you can do is forgive. And then he went to the Bible, and there were some verses, I think it was like Matthew something. I'm so bad with the Bible. That's one thing I'm gonna start doing is reading the Bible. But it says, Jesus was asked, like, how many times do we need to forgive? Is there a limit? I mean, is 7 the limit? And Jesus goes, basically, he said, times that by, what do you say? He said, times it by something. But basically what he was saying is there is no limit. It's just one of those things where people are going to offend you, or you might offend somebody and you don't even know. And, and they're angry at you. And so the best thing is always to forgive, let it go, and maybe not forget, don't forget that, some people did you wrong. It doesn't mean that you allow them free range to do it again to you, so it's up to you whether you want to put a strong boundary or just keep a little bit of space, in between, or you decide you don't want to no longer work with that person because of what happened. That's okay. That's definitely fine. But you should definitely, at the end of the day, forgive people for their trespasses as well as we forgive our own, right? It's the best way to move forward. And so it was a good, and again, he was preaching to the choir because I'm all about that. But it was good. It was good to hear. It was the metaphor of the potatoes I've never heard before. So that was a new one for me. I like that a lot. The metaphor of the potatoes. I'm like your older brother. That's cool. I'll take that as a compliment, Krishna. We never talked about brothers. I got two brothers. The oldest is a priest, and the middle one, I'm the youngest. The middle one is a family man, a bit of a musician, artiste himself. They're all brilliant. They're genius. They're all geniuses in their own right. And the middle brother, he got married. He's got kids, wonderful children. And, after I went to the House of Faith. Well, let me finish off by saying he did a little sermon. And then how did he end it? He brought people up that wanted to receive. Yeah, man. I bet you're a smart one. I bet your brothers are smart too. Especially if you're in India. Yeah, smart people come from India. Smart people come from China. From the USA, eh? Very cool. Very cool. But she's from USA. So you met somebody who's from the USA, and what's going on there? Tell me about it. If you want, you don't have to. But this woman that told me to come out, invited me to come out to the House of Faith. I met her there, and we sat together. But at the end of the whole sermon, he brought up people who wanted to feel like they needed help letting go of stuff. And so all these people walked up, and what's funny is the woman next to me was like, "Do you want to go up?" And I was like, "Well, I don't have a situation. I don't have any grudges, so I'm good." She kind of looked at me like, "Oh, okay." But I really don't. I'm good. I'm good. But all these people came up. Oh, you got yourself a pen pal girlfriend type thing, huh? That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I was like become best friends. Since my phone crashed and my computer crashed, and I'm using this like semi laptop that's like designed for apps. It's not really like a full functioning laptop, but it was like really cheap. I think it was like $60 at a pawn shop. This is what I'm using, But I had like pen pals. I have a pen pal in Australia. She's really cool. You are my brother. That's hilarious. What does your brother do? Can I ask? What does your brother do? He seems like a cool guy. If he seems like me, I think I'm pretty cool. I need to stop with this, and I figured out how I'm going to do it. I found this thing called Fume, and apparently it's like herbal stuff. So I'm going to try that out. I did stop smoking marijuana, thank God, because I don't know. I don't know. I did it for over 10 years, and I'm just happy that I'm finally done with that, man. It costs a lot of money, and it alters your state in a way. And in a lot of ways, it did help my creativity and focus. It made me hyper productive because there's certain THC that kind of help you with that. But at the end of the day, the things that people say about the modern marijuana is not like how it was back in the day, where it was more natural. They're obviously adding a bunch of chemicals and stuff, and it's way stronger than it was back in the day. And so I might grow it because I have my license. I'm allowed to grow 6 plants, but I don't know if I would smoke it. I think I would grow it because I love gardening, and I would grow it and just hand that off to a friend as a gift and be like, "Here you go. Here's some fresh grown natural marijuana." But where was I going with that? I don't know. But I need to stop with this. So I found this thing called Fume. It's got like herbs in it, like mint and different herbs, rosemary maybe, just thyme, just different things. I don't know what it has, but just different things. So I'm gonna try that out. It says that it's supposed to help you heal your lungs and whatnot. So I'm gonna try it out. Actually, when I get off right now, I'm gonna go buy some on Amazon. But I find myself in much happier places. Nice. Very nice. I went to college. I went to first I went to community college here in Tulsa, and I got my associates there. and then I went to TU, which is like for Tulsa. It's like supposed to be like it was like the top 50 private schools in the U.S. or the world. I can't remember, but it was up there. It was a lot of people from different nations come to TU to study like engineering, chemical engineering, things like that. You don't like Indian girl. Well, at the end of the day, man, it's when you connect with somebody, you connect with somebody. You know, when you get older, the looks don't really matter so much as at the end of the day, you got love. If you find unconditional love with somebody, I think you hit the jackpot. Don't let that one go. Of course, if they do want to leave your life, you got no choice, and they go out of your life, and maybe they return. But who knows? But yeah, I'm in a really good place. I'm really happy with this church that I went to, House of Faith. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go back next weekend. I'm going to try to bring a couple of my friends who are very secular. I think they somewhat believe in God, but they have a very secular life. They don't seem spiritually inclined, if that makes sense. They're more about the material world and this world, which is it's fine, makes sense. This is where we live for now. Well, I can understand the arrogant, but yeah, well, yeah, you can't blame a guy for not being attracted to certain kinds of women. That's totally fair, man. You gotta find the person that you're attracted to, not just physically, but that's a plus. That's a plus. Oh, you'll get lucky, man. You'll get lucky. Um, it's in my opinion, man. It's better to you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but it's okay. You don't have to take everything I say. You can, if you don't like it, you can throw it away. But man, I think it's a good idea to, if depends what you want, man. You're still pretty young, I feel like. So I feel like you're the middle brother, right? Um, you got time. You got time, and be yourself. Be yourself. That's like the most important thing. Um, open up, to girls. Just talk to them. Just say, hey, how's it going? But at least you have a friend. It seems like you have one now. But what was I going with that? Oh, you're probably not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but it's a very good idea to save yourself for marriage. Don't fall for lust, because it'll lead you down the wrong path. But if you save yourself for marriage, um, and you want a family, you want kids, that would be the right thing to do. That's my recommendation. Again, if I'm sorry if that upsets you, but you're still young, right? So give it some time. Give it some time, man. Um, just give it some time. I mean, there's always going to be, if you're open to it, you'll always find friends. If you're open to it, and if surely, like me, I have a very small circle of friends. I have like 2 friends that I'm close to. I have like 1 female friend I'm close to here. But when I went to this church, the House of Faith, everybody was like so nice, and it just felt like family. I felt like I could be friends with any of them there. So, and that church has a lot of young people, but I wasn't looking at them. I was there for the experience, But yeah, man, maybe go check out a place where it doesn't have to be church, but it can be anything. Just go somewhere where you can find youth outside of school, like outside activities that people flock to, and just hang out there. And I don't know, that probably sounds dumb, but I don't know. That's what I would do. And so my experience of going to this church, it introduced me to a whole bunch of people, and these are all good people. These are all good, faithful. They love Jesus. They love God. So they're good. But A lot of older folks, indeed, but a lot of young people, though. I was pretty surprised how much young people. The whole band that was playing, they were mostly young. The people singing, they were young. Um, so that was good to see. And then of course there's like kids, right? Like little, like I don't know, like 8 to 12 years old, right? They have like their own little area. So I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever thought about? Do you go to church or anything, Krishna? Um, I don't know how your family does religion or whatnot. I'm sure it's different. I think India has like the most religions or gods or something. I heard. I could be wrong. Uh, yeah, that's what I heard. So I don't know. Explore the options of that because you might find more people. She replied me, but like, do I know you? Yes. Cool. Cool. Well, it takes time to build a friendship sometimes, and it's always kind of weird at first when you up to somebody and start talking to them. But, um, if your heart's in the right place and you really want friendship with others, don't quit. Keep putting yourself out there because you have to put yourself out there. You're going to get rejected. I got rejected so many times. There's people who have different ideologies than me. I can't connect with those people, even though I tried, you know. But I still put myself out there, And sometimes I'm a hermit. Like this whole month, I've been a hermit. I've just stayed indoors and because I had so many things going wrong, and I was just trying to fix it, But I feel like I'm finally out of that. Finally getting out of my hermit phase. I'm the Republican Party here knows who I am now. The church knows who I am. So I'm meeting a lot of people. It's really cool. It took a leap of faith to do all this. But I feel like I'm on the right path. Krishna, how cool, man! I really, it's really cool to have your friendship, man. It really is. That's cool to hear. You got brothers too. That's cool. And anyways, this lady took me out to lunch afterwards. We went to this Chinese restaurant, and apparently she's known this family for many years, like knows the kids and kind of saw them grow up. And this family is, I don't know if it's, yeah, China. They're from China, and they practice Buddhism, like Buddhism. Am I saying that? Buddhism? I don't know. Anyways, that's what they practice. And their youngest son is kind of on the fence becoming Christian, and the parents don't like that. At least the father doesn't so much. And then I think the older brother got baptized, and he was pretty upset when he heard that. So it's tricky. It's tricky with families that come from different countries and have their traditions. At the end of the day, I think you should always honor your mother and father. Respect them. You know, they're not perfect either. They're not perfect. I mean, my parents fight all the time. My parents don't always get it right. My dad's messy, makes messes. But at the end of the day, it's family. You have to come to realize that that's your blood, that's your family. You're not gonna find that anywhere else. And there could be some grudges, this and that, here and there, but at the end of the day, if you can find a way to forgive them, because they're not perfect, and so you can be the peacemaker with your parents. That's what I am between my parents. I'm the peacemaker. Anytime they're fighting, I break them up. I take my dad out to the park or something, and I have little one-on-one talks with my mom, with my dad, and we just open up. I open up. I allow them to open up and talk, and then if they're angry because of this, it's something so stupid, my mom gets upset because of a mess that my dad made, but it's something like that. But I try to be the peacemaker, and that it helps. It helps when the son is the peacemaker between the two parents. I think by doing that all these years, my whole life, I think I've helped keep them together, in my opinion, Anyways, House of Faith, I'm going to go back. They gave me more stuff. They gave me, let's see. They gave me coffee. So after the service, they had coffee right outside, which was great. Oh, look at that. They gave me a pen. It says House of Faith on it. That's pretty cool. I'm going to put that right there. Then there's an event coming up. It's called Next Gen Revival, Youth and Young Adults, October 17th. Pretty cool. I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go check that out. What else we got? This is Welcome to the Church, House of Faith. Little brochure type thing. That's pretty cool. What we're all about, reaching people with life-giving message of Jesus and building faith to live a supernatural life. Connect with God, equip people, reach the lost. And I've been talking about that recently, how you watch the world on YouTube and you just see how lost everybody is. They're hurting, they're lost, and they don't have God in their life, So I see somebody like this guy, this preacher, and she was the daughter of a well-known preacher in Tulsa who passed away. So they have a lot of history here. It's pretty cool. I didn't know that, I just kind of learning that as I go. But I mean, they offer so many things. They offer nursery for kids, 6 weeks, 2 years, preschool, 3 years, kindergarten, elementary. I mean, it says we want children to understand that God's word is for everyone and that they can play a role in spreading his love. It teaches empathy, compassion, and the importance of prayer while inspiring kids to see how their faith connects to the world around them. And, to get a dose of that when you're young is pretty cool. So pretty happy this exists here in Tulsa. I think a lot of churches are kind of losing their way. And these people seem right on the money when it comes to the Bible and God's creation and things like that. One thing that I was talking about the Methodist church I got invited to, they were all telling me that there was a split in that church, and that in that split, people created a new church called the Asbury Church. And the reason why they split, interesting enough, was because the Methodist church there was accepting gay marriage as a thing that's like okay, and a lot of people have problems with that because in the Bible it says that's a big no-no. It says give it time. Give it time. A lot of give it time. Yeah, they said that there's a big problem with that, and because it clearly says in the Bible this and that what's sacred between it's the reason why marriage is sacred between a man and a woman, because that's where life comes from, and that's why it should be regarded as sacred and not make a mockery out of it. And so a lot of people just ignore that and do their own thing, because at the end of the day they're selfish, and that's what selfish people do. They much rather listen to their own words than the words of God, So, but that's probably one of the biggest arguments of our time, and so it'll always be that way. But I strongly support the idea that marriage is sacred because you create life, and it's a real commitment when you create a family, and you bring life into this world. It's sacred. It's between man and women because you create life, period. God bless you, young man. God bless you. God bless you, man. Another thing I've been doing is, I anytime I meet somebody out in the street, if I'm close enough to them, I'll talk to them. I'll say hello. I'll give them a little bit of money. I'll buy them food. I'll give them a little money because you gotta, sometimes you gotta be careful. You don't know if they're gonna spend it on drugs or alcohol. So I give them a little bit of money, and then I buy them food. Oh, God's gonna listen to you. You open up to God, God will listen to you. God will listen to you. Yeah. Pray to God. Ask God for things, and God will deliver. You got to be a faithful believer. It's so weird. I feel like I'm a preacher, but I'm not a preacher. I'm just a regular dude, and I'm just going through something. Krishna. I lived I stopped going to church when I was 21, and I was living a secular life, and it was going down the drain. It's going down the drain. And so I'm glad this change happened to me, and I like it. I like it. I feel like a good person. you know. But I met this other guy in a wheelchair, Leonard, and he was outside the. Should I change your name? No, don't change your name. Don't change your name. I mean, it's up to you, but I use Lasso because there's a lot of hatred for me in this town, and so I changed my name so people, I guess, would leave me alone or something. I don't know. I don't know if it worked, but one guy found me. He's like, "Oh, I know it's you." I was like, "Dude, leave me alone, you freak! Like, what's your problem?" But yeah, I got a guy like stalking me on YouTube. It's insane, dude. It's insane. He's got so much hatred in his heart, so much hatred, dude. And I feel like it's just gonna get worse. Like the more I plant my feet in faith in Jesus, I think the hatred's gonna grow even more. I don't doubt it, because there's a lot of people who like hate Jesus, hate God, hate good people. So for whatever reason, right? They probably got hurt when they were young, and they don't know how to forgive. That's why forgiving is so important. It'll make you bitter. It'll make you bitter. It'll make you ugly. It'll, like I said, it'll weigh you down, and it'll make you feel like the world sucks, but it doesn't. The world doesn't suck. It's a beautiful place. I think you got a great name, Krishna. That's cool. That's a badass name, man. That's badass. You talk to any American, Krishna, that's fucking badass. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's good to chat a little bit. I'm going to read this book. I bought another book called The Science of Going Viral. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Go viral on YouTube. Can you imagine? Be pretty nuts. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the path I'm on right now. I'm very excited, very excited. I just feel like things are going well for me now. I just feel like a big weight has been lifted. I've accepted my transformation, and there's no going back how I was. There's no going back to the secular lifestyle. I'm done with that. I'm so done. I did it for over 10 years, more than that. No more. That's really all I have to say. Hopefully, they told me at the phone store that by the end of today, I should have my number back. And the reason why I need my number back is because nobody can get a hold of me. They accidentally changed my number at the store. It's funny because I was driving home. I looked down just to make sure, and I was like, "What? My number changed? That's not good." But like, for example, like I need to verify my ID on Amazon so my book can officially be published. That's the last thing I need to do. And it's connected to my old number. So they want to send me codes to my number, but I don't have it. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? So I've been waiting patiently. My patience has been tested this month, and I think I did a good job because I didn't yell at anybody. I didn't, the whole thing was frustrating. I could have easily been like, do your job, whatever, some stupid thing like that. But I didn't. I was calm, collective the whole time. It's been a very frustrating week with the phone, but I never lost my cool, What I did do, because I was angry. I know I was angry. I could feel it. What I did do is I went and worked out, and I was able to release my anger through working out and kind of yelling a little bit. I was like, ah. But I had to let it out, It's not good to hold that anger in either, You can forgive, but then you have to deal with the anger you have. So working out, just yelling, literally yelling, like just like in my car with loud music. I was just letting it out. But see, I didn't hurt anybody. And that's key, right? So maybe this month was a test for me. I feel like I'm passing all the tests. I think I failed one test, but we're not perfect, and all you can do is ask for forgiveness from God and to try a little better. But yeah, I'm doing good. Are you doing good, Krishna? You doing good overall? I know that maybe loneliness can be somewhat tough, but for me, after really having this connection with Christ and God, I don't feel lonely anymore, like at all. Like I could sit in my trailer for the rest of my life and never feel lonely. It's crazy, you know. It's so crazy, man. But I feel like it's weird because I was having this discussion with this lady, and I was like, I just kind of let go. I stopped pursuing things, and I just let go. And now I'm just kind of like, with my intuition, almost kind of like allowing God to guide me where I need to go and what I need to do. And I just have to be open to the ideas. So like going to church, that was a new thing. I was open to it, and it worked out really well. Going to the Republican Party thing, that I never in my life would I have done that, and I did it, and it worked out really well. So I just put my trust in God, and and I just say, okay, I just kind of wait for some kind of intuitive idea to come in and be like, okay, do this. And I was like, okay. It's not like I hear God's voice. It's just more like a gut feeling, or somebody tells me a good idea and I go, yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should do that. And lo and behold, I would have never guessed I would have a ticket to go to the fair. My painting is at the fair. I've connected with people at the Republican Party. I've connected with people at this church. I would have never in a million years have I been like pursuing my goals and this and that. I would have never in a million years done this. So the fact that I was able to let go and allow God to do the thing. Yeah, that's another thing, man. You got to be careful with your emotions. Women can be very manipulative with your emotions. So you got to be straight. Don't allow a woman to fluctuate how you feel. You got to be strong at your core. Women will fluctuate. They'll come in your life, they'll leave your life. And if you have that emotional tie, it's going to disturb your peace. You know what I'm saying? You got to, and I went through that. That's why I can tell you, be careful with that kind of thing, because then you rely on that. And if she can't be there, you're going to feel sad. And the truth is, there's really no reason for you to feel sad, man. Like you have your life. You're a young man. You got your life ahead of you. I know it's tough. It's tough. I get it. I was there myself. I went through loneliness. I went through depression. I went through a horrible breakup that like sent me to like literally a psychosis. It's horrible, man. When you so you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful when you allow a girl or somebody to fluctuate how you feel. You gotta be strong at your core. And it takes time. It takes time. It takes time. You got to grow up to be a man, and that takes time. I'm 38. I'm 38, and I'm just now feeling like a man. Before I felt like I wasn't there yet, and a lot of it is mental. A lot of it is in your heart and mental, and a lot of it is wisdom. And sometimes you can't get wisdom until you go through it. But when you go through it, it might steal like a year of your life. It might steal 5 years of your life. It could, what I'm saying? You could fall into depression, and next thing you know, you're not on track with your life. You talk to yourself all day. Yeah, I do that sometimes. You got pets? I got pets. Pets help tremendous. I have a dog, and that helped a ton with that. It also made me responsible for the dog, And then I have a cat, so I have a dog and a cat, so it fills that gap a little bit. You don't feel as lonely when you have pets. I got a friend. I don't know if this interests you, but I got a friend who got two rats as pets, like those they're cute. They're like these. You see them in like laboratories, like the white rats, and so they're so. I like the rats. Every time I come over to her house and we do something, she gets them out and we play with them. It's a lot of fun. Having a rat as a pet is actually a lot of fun because they're so tiny. They got little tiny hands, and you can hold them in your hand, and they crawl on your shoulder, and they have their little nose. They're just like smelling all the time. They're so cute. They're very cute. I'll have to say, as a rat is probably pretty low maintenance compared to a dog. I will say that probably because they're so tiny, and you know you just need a cage, a pretty large cage, and some things for them to be entertained, and food, water, good to go. You got to clean it, every once in a while, but that's not a bad thing. Like once you start taking care of an animal, that's when your empathy starts to really come in. That's when you grow a heart. You grow love for animals, and then suddenly that love is growing and it's spreading more out in the world. You have love for other human beings, for example. There are a lot of people out there that just straight up hate people, and I was kind of one of them. But I mean, at the end of the day, no one's perfect. There are a lot of people who are lost. There are a lot of people who create hurt, but people are people. What are you going to do? Even Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they don't know what they do." They're ignorant. They don't have any wisdom. They haven't seen the light. They live in darkness. So you just got to be careful with those kinds of people. They will try to manipulate you, and they'll try to lead you away. Oh, that's sad, man. Yeah, my dog. I had a cat that passed away last year. My best friend, man, my best friend. Um, and my parents also were out of town, so I had to take care of it. I buried my pet. It was like I found it dead, and it was stiff, it was just very stiff. It was so unalive. It was just gone. Whatever was there, with the spirit of the animal was just gone. It was weird. It was just cold. It was stiff, and it was pretty. I mean, if I was younger, probably your age, I would be a little bit traumatized by it. But the fact that I'm a bit older, I've already had two pets die on me before when I was little. They got old and they passed away. Um, so I don't know. You just accept the fact that it's just part of life. You know, you know, life and death. It's We are gonna die one day too. You know, and that's why I take eternity very seriously. You can spend your time. Well, the assumption is, well, you could say assumption, but you could also believe it wholeheartedly that there is a heaven. And if you're a good person, a good man, and you stay away from sinning, you will be eligible to enter the kingdom. That's not true, man. Come on. Come on. Don't do that to yourself. You have the power over your mind. Your mind can be your enemy, you know. It's mind over matter. You gotta stay positive. The only thing you can do is to switch that up, switch your negative thoughts and switch it to positive thoughts. That's the only thing you in your power. It's completely in your power No one's going to do it for you. And that's what I started doing for years. It took me a while to heal. Um, you know, but you know, surely, come on, come on now. You know, come on now. The beauty's in the inside, man. At the end of the day, beauty is in the inside. Okay, don't get fooled by judging a cover. You know what I'm saying? There's like really beautiful women, but in the inside, they are disgusting. They're ugly. They're horrible people. You know what I'm saying? Um, so you can't judge a book by its cover. And I'm not the brightest bulb, man. I'm my brothers are more intelligent than I am, and I made so many mistakes in my life that now I can say I have some wisdom. But I also do a lot of reading. I read a lot of books. That's helped. The fact that I read books and subjects that I care for and I'm passionate about, that helps, man. That helps a lot. You know, I read 20 books this year. 20 books. That'll make you feel smart. Trust me. you know, but it's okay to feel down on yourself, but because it's just part of life. There's always going to be a reason to feel down, but it's up to us. It's up to us to raise ourselves back up with positivity. Start with what you appreciate. The first thing you do when you wake up, what do you appreciate? The fact that you have a roof over your head, a bed to sleep in. Your brothers, you maybe one in college, and one in school, but you got family. You got family. There's nothing going to be more important in this life than family. That's number one. Well, they say God number one, but you know, if we look at it from down here, from Earth, family should be number one. Period. Uh, always, always. You know. Plus, you can always, how if you feel like you're not handsome for whatever reason, there's things you can do. You can work out. You can work out. You can start eating healthy. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying there's things you can do. There's things you can do. You know what I'm saying? It takes time though, but that time that you put in, oh my gosh. Well, that's horrible. Okay, that is horrible, 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 horrible for a mother to say. Hey, my mom slapped me in the face once because I was out of line, but um, my parents have called me stupid. I remember now. Because I made so many mistakes, but that made me feel very isolated for sure. But at the end of the day, it's just an opinion, and you can either take it or say, "No, I'm not taking your opinion. I don't believe in your opinion." You know, I'm a and you got to be strong. You got to be strong. It just seems like you're being called to be strong. You got to be strong. You got to get strong. Um, you got to find the value in you, and you do that by appreciating. You appreciate the fact that you're alive. You appreciate the fact, like I said, the little things. Appreciate the little things. Find the joy in the little things. You know, and it's because it's all up to us. It's always up to us to find balance in our lives. No one's going to do it for us. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you're biggest garbage. I don't think you are. I've never met you, but I don't think you are. I think you're just a young man on his journey. You know what I'm saying? We all have our journey. You know, it's like you ever heard of the hero's journey? Krishna, there's a book called the Hero's Journey, and it's a book that a lot of writers read and study to be able to write stories. Look at it that way. You are the hero of your own life. You are the main character of your life, and you have all these negativity coming your way, you know, and you got to be like a warrior. You know, you got to be like, no. Like just use an imaginary sword and just cut through the bullshit. All the negativity, just boom, boom, just knock it out. There's a book called Rhinoceros Success. There's a book called Rhinoceros Success. It's a thin book, pretty easy to read. And it teaches you how to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin in this world, or else it'll eat you up alive, man. It'll eat you up. You got bullies everywhere on this planet, you know. And you got to have a thick skin. You got to have it. It's part of life, you know. And you got to stand for what you believe in. Find what you believe in, you know. Write it down, you know. Write down what you believe in, you know. Do you believe you're stupid? I don't think you believe you're stupid. Come on. You're not stupid, okay? You're just, people are very judgmental, you know, and maybe they're mean, and maybe it's their way to get you moving. You know, sometimes people are mean to get you moving, to do something with your life. Is that the right approach? I don't think it is, but I'm not a parent, so I don't know what it's like to have kids and be overwhelmed with the stresses of having kids, you know, and all that. But I will say that's definitely not the right way to go about that. I would never call my son or stupid or anything. You know, it's about having patience. You got to have patience. And the patience they don't show you, show them patience. Show them that you're patient with them, you know. Show them patience is hard. It's a hard one. It's a tough one. But yeah, you got to be a warrior. You know, I think life is calling you to be a warrior, and you got to find what you believe in. Okay, believe that you are smart. Believe that you are capable. Okay. USA, make a girlfriend from USA. Yeah, that could be a goal. You know, I don't use social media too much. I have YouTube, but I've been able to connect with people like you, Krishna, and it's been interesting. You know, so I'll always be here for you, Krishna. Okay, I'll be here. I'm having technical computer problems, but I'll try my best to always be here. Okay, man. If you have any issues, just talk to me. Okay, maybe this is what I'm being called to do by God. I don't know. But I got a little bit of wisdom, you know. I got a little bit. I'm not the brightest bulb in the block, but I'm trying, you know. Yeah, I'll be your brother. I'm your brother. I'm your bro. I'm your bro here in the USA. Okay, you got a brother. Okay. Hey, have you heard of a woman called Abraham Hicks? Abraham Hicks. She's all about positive energy, positive this, positive that. And I listened to her for years, and it changed my life. That was like my first step of like changing my life around from being a negative person to a positive person, you know? And I still battle negativity. You're going to battle negativity your whole life. Your brain can be your worst enemy. It's crazy. It tells you to be scared. It convinces you to be lazy. You know what I'm saying? Your brain can be your worst enemy. You have to like really be on top with your willpower, you know, to be like, no, I'm in control. Not my brain. I'm in control. My soul is in control, you know? Because your brain's going to want to look for the easy way out all the time. It's going to try to reason, you know, but that's what I'm saying. Your brain could be your worst nightmare sometimes. But that's why you have to like be on top of it. You have to use your willpower. It's like having a gardener. You know, your brain is like a garden, and you want to keep it beautiful. You want to keep it positive. But you need to tend to it like a garden. these weeds of negativity are going to come in and try to confuse you and put you in a dark place. And it's your job as a gardener in your mind to keep it orderly, you know. And you'll see that keeping your mind in order will start to change your surroundings, you know, because once you have order in here and here, it'll start coming out, and you're going to want order in your life, you know. I've said a lot, Krishna. I don't know if that's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to offend you in any way, you know. If I did, I apologize. It's hard when you can't actually see the person communicating, you know. But I'm here for you, Bubba. I'm here. Do me a favor though. Promise me you'll YouTube a person called Abraham Hicks. Please, I'm begging you, do it. And just listen to her. Listen to her. Listen to her videos. She will put your mind in a positive place, and that seems like that's you. I sounded just like you when I was younger, you know. But yeah, go. Abraham Hicks. Promise me you'll go check out Abraham Hicks on YouTube. She's a wonderful, wonderful human being. Very positive. So much wisdom. She's got so much wisdom. It's unheard of, you know. But she changed my life. Yeah, listening to her. So I recommend it. I highly recommend it. But anyways, I guess Krishna, I'm gonna head out. Is there a good time? What's a really good time for you for me to come up here? I'm still working on my phone. So I went to the store today, and they told me by the end of today, I'll be able to have my old number back. And once I have my old number back, I'll be able to verify my ID and download apps and do this. So I've been stuck. I've been completely stuck, man, for like this whole month. It's been ridiculous. So I've been fighting my own wars here with technology. But I promise you, I'm going to get it. Even my friend from Australia was like, "Did you delete me on Snap?" I was like, No, I didn't delete you. My phone died. It crashed. It doesn't work, period. It can't charge it, nothing. And I made the mistake, instead of buying a new battery, I went and bought a new phone. I should have bought a new battery and replaced it. But again, I'm not the brightest bulb, you know? So I got a new phone, and there was a whole issue with that. And then I had to get another phone, and then I got another phone. And that's the one I have right now. But I need my old number back to be able to get into my apps and this and that. And I can't do anything until I get it. And I've been going to the store every day. Very nice. I was very pleasant. I was never rude. And I said, "How's it going? What's the status?" And it was so frustrating. It just felt like they were jerking me around, because they'd be like, "Oh, in a couple hours it'll be fixed." It's not fixed. And I go back in. It's like, "Oh, tomorrow it'll be fixed." And tomorrow happens. It's not fixed. And I go back to the store. So I felt like they were jerking me off. You know, I had every right to be angry, but I wasn't. I was not angry towards this person. You know, and they told me by the end of today, I will have my own number back. And so once I have that, I'll be able to do all the things I need to. I don't really have money problems. I'm very lucky in that way. Um, I'm not the richest person, but I'm not very materialistic, you know. And a lot of the things that I have, I mean, obviously I worked for them, but a lot of them were like gifts, you know. So I'm very lucky in that way. Yeah, no, I'm pretty solid. I'm not super rich, you know. I get by with the bare minimum, you know. And right now I'm really trying to push the whole painting thing to make more money. So I'm hoping to get commissioned to do more paintings, and I can make some serious bucks doing that, you know. But I've had so many jobs. I was a termite technician. I worked at Walmart. I worked at grocery stores. I was a janitor. I cleaned floors. I mean, you name it, man. I've done it all. I've done it all, you know. And I finally started working for myself. I run a film festival, It doesn't really make me a lot of money, but the fact that I have it, it's my business, and I get to grow it every year, you know, and eventually it might make me some money, but you know, that's down the road. Um, I have the book that I published that I have to, again, waiting on that phone number so I can verify my ID on Amazon so then my book can officially be published. So I got my first book. It took me 2 years to write, you know, and yeah, I've worked my butt off. Yeah, I'm a work. I worked in the film industry. I was a production assistant for like 5, 6 years, you know. And before that, I was doing freelance videography. I would film horse races. I would film videotape soccer games. You know, you name it. So I've done it all, but none of that was my calling. I wasn't. I was never like it's not a. You do it because you have to, right? But it was never my calling, you know. And now I always thought that filmmaking was my calling. I still kind of do. I may go back to filmmaking. And once this channel is monetized, and I'm not even sure how I'm going to do it because I'm not trying to seek fame or anything. But once I have this channel monetized and I can figure out how to work that in, I'm going to release the last movie that I made. It's called Stray Kids. It took me 15 years to make. 15 years because nobody would freaking help me, man. And sometimes you got to go alone, and sometimes you got to be a warrior. You know, you fight until you accomplish it. You know what I'm saying? All right, you have a good night, sir. You have a good night. Check out Abraham Hicks. Please, please, please. Abraham Hicks. Check her out. She's amazing. I promise you, she's amazing. You're the man, Krishna. Come on. You're the man. You know, you got a bright future ahead of you. You know you got a bright future ahead of you. Don't ever think that you don't, because you do. You do. All right, Krishna, you have a good night, good sir. Don't let people bully you. You know, don't let them bring you down. You got to be strong. All right, Krishna. All right, good night. I'm going to go eat lunch, feed my pets. All right, brother. Yeah, I'll let you know when I release it. All right, my brother from India. Stay strong. All right, stay strong. I got your back. All the way from the USA, baby. I got your back. So, anyways, God bless anyone who's watching. God bless you all. So I'm out of here. Until next time, I'll see you all later. Peace.